The Young and the Restless reveals how everything can change in an instant. Family relationships that seem solid are suddenly shattered by bad decisions, thoughtless actions, and terrible secrets that cannot be controlled. One of the most dramatic situations that is currently stirring up the show's fan community is the unexpected confrontation between Traci Abbott and Alan Loran, with Phyllis Summer's life in danger. This tense life-or-death situation will raise a series of questions about morality, choices, and consequences that the characters will have to face. Traci and Alan, a complicated relationship. Traci Abbott is a strong, intelligent, and emotional woman, but also determined when it comes to protecting her family. However, she never expected that one day, the man she once thought was trustworthy and close, Alan Loran, could become a great threat to the lives of those she loved, especially Phyllis Summers. Alan Loran, a powerful and mysterious man, always hides dark schemes behind his elegant appearance. Known as a man of great ambition, Alan has always found a way to get what he wants, regardless of the means he has to use. This time, his target is Phyllis, who Alan believes will be a big obstacle to his plans. When Traci discovers that Alan intends to kill Phyllis, she cannot accept this fact. Shock and panic overwhelm her, but immediately, Traci decides to take action. She couldn't stand by and watch Phyllis in danger, and with a quick and fierce move, Traci grabbed a hammer and hit Alan hard on the head. The powerful, forceful blow sent Alan falling to the ground, instantly unconscious. A deadly blow. Will Alan die? This event happened so quickly and unexpectedly that even Traci didn't have time to realize the seriousness of it. The blow to Alan's head sent him falling to the floor, showing no signs of waking up. A stifling silence filled the room as everyone present stood frozen, not daring to breathe loudly, afraid of making things worse. Alan Loran, someone who many thought would not be easily defeated, now lay motionless on the floor, and no one could be sure if he would survive this blow. Could the blow to the head have caused Alan serious damage, to the point that he would die on the spot? This left a question that was not easy to answer, as things had now spiraled out of Traci's control. With Alan lying motionless on the floor, Traci felt as if everything was collapsing around her. She knew that she had just done something that could not be undone, but at the same time, she also knew that if she did not act, Phyllis might not live to see another day. Fear and regret filled Traci's mind. She stood there, looking at Alan lying there, not knowing what to do next. Phyllis and the panicked women. As soon as Traci hit Alan, Phyllis and the other women in the room panicked. Phyllis, who had just narrowly escaped death, was still reeling from the shock, but she also realized that the situation was no longer simple. Shock and horror filled the eyes of the women who witnessed the incident. What are we going to do now? A difficult question was posed not only to Traci but to everyone present. A death, or at least a situation that could lead to death, had occurred in their own home, and none of them could be sure what would happen next. Everyone knew that if Alan really died, the consequences would be very serious. The police would come, everything would be exposed, and they would probably be facing a murder case. Traci would not be able to escape this guilt, and everything she had done so far would be meaningless. The guilt and fear in Traci's heart were rising rapidly, making it impossible for her to think clearly about what she would do next. Should they do something to cover up this incident, to protect Traci and everyone else from the terrible consequences? Should they decompose Alan's body, making everything disappear forever? These were vague questions, and the more Traci thought about them, the more she felt she was being backed into a corner from which she could not escape. The decision, what to do next. In these tense moments and uncertain of what to do next, Traci and Phyllis, along with the other women, would have to make a quick decision. They couldn't leave Alan lying there for too long, but they also couldn't make things worse by revealing the truth. If Alan died, they would not only be faced with guilt, but also with a whole mess of problems that they couldn't solve. Whatever their final decision, Traci and Phyllis realize that their lives have been changed forever. One decisive moment, one single action, could lead them down a path of no return. And no matter how hard they try to hide or deal with the situation, they will not be able to escape the consequences of what they have done. The situation between Traci, Phyllis, and Alan will be more than just a life-or-death struggle, but also a complex internal battle. The decisions Traci and Phyllis make will affect not only their futures, but the Abbott family and everyone in the world of the young and the restless. Will they find a way to resolve this situation, or will they send everyone into a spiral from which there is no escape? Only time will tell. Hidden secrets and the love wars in the young and the restless. In the young and the restless, each character carries with them secrets, ambitions, and deep emotions. One of the most intriguing stories right now is the tense relationship between Lily Winters and Damian Kane, along with the complicated situations surrounding Holden Novak and Audra Charles. These relationships are not only affected by feelings but also by calculations, lies and threats hidden behind each decision. Lily and questions about Damian Kane. Lily Winters, an intelligent and independent woman, is not easily drawn into a relationship without a clear reason. While Damian Kane still persistently pursues her fiercely, Lily cannot help but worry about his true motives. Although Damian shows sincere concern for Lily, she cannot ignore her doubts about what he is hiding. One of the things that worries Lily the most is Damian's past and his relationship with Aristotle Dumas, the real owner of the companies Damian runs. These details make Lily even more wary. She knows that Damian is not someone who opens up about himself easily, and the secrets he keeps could have far-reaching implications not only for her work but also for the safety of the Winters family. In conversations with close friends, Lily constantly struggles with the questions in her heart: what does Damian really want? Is he using me to carry out his schemes? Although she maintains control, these doubts constantly haunt Lily, making it impossible for her to fully trust anything Damian says. Lily realizes that, while their relationship may go somewhere she never expected, she cannot rely on immediate feelings alone to make decisions. Lily decides to continue to learn about Damian and try to unravel the secrets he is keeping. She knows that if she doesn't, there will be a high price to pay. Holden and Audra, uncontrollable emotions. While Lily is dealing with her concerns about Damian, Holden Novak is caught up in another equally complicated situation. The relationship between Holden and Audra Charles, although it has made positive progress, is full of temptations and challenges. Holden, despite knowing clearly that Audra is with Nate Hastings, still cannot ignore his strange feelings for her. Audra always tries to keep a clear boundary in her friendship with Holden, not wanting to cross the line she set. But Holden proves to be unable to control himself. He begins to flirt with Audra and even has actions that can be considered crossing the line, such as passionate looks or even somewhat bold gestures. Faced with this situation, Audra can't help but remind Holden that she only sees him as a friend, and that's all they'll ever have. However, Holden doesn't give up easily. He begins to feel like he might have a chance with Audra if he were more determined. There are even moments when he tries to steal a kiss from her, only to be met with a hard stare from Audra. She insists that she's committed to Nate, and that their friendship cannot go any further. This hurts Holden, but he can't help but try to accept the fact that Audra has clear boundaries. However, the tension between them goes beyond respecting the boundaries of friendship. Holden feels like he's facing an insurmountable constraint, while Audra is trying to stay grounded and not get caught up in emotions she can't control. This relationship becomes a challenge for both of them, as they both have relationships out there and responsibilities that they cannot ignore. Complicated relationships between new and old. The relationships between Holden, Audra, Lily, and Damian are just a part of the complex relationships on the young and the restless. These characters not only face challenges from dark secrets and plans, but also have to deal with complicated emotions that sometimes they cannot explain. Lily can feel the potential threat from Damian, but she also cannot deny the attraction he brings. Meanwhile, Holden and Audra are faced with emotions that they cannot easily suppress. These relationships will not only change their lives but can also affect those around them, creating dramatic and unexpected situations. By skillfully blending personal emotions and tense situations, The Young and the Restless has created a complex world where every decision can change the course of the story. Secrets, mixed emotions, and calculations will create not only emotional battles but also battles in life. And everyone, from Lily and Damian to Holden and Audra, will be faced with choices that could change everything forever. In the turbulent world of The Young and the Restless, no one can rest easy when they are involved with Victor Newman, a powerful man with great influence not only in the Newman family but also in the business world. Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott's relationship is seriously threatened by Victor's new moves, who will never accept anyone as his equal when it comes to his family. Victor Newman and the hidden threats. Victor Newman, despite reaching a temporary agreement with Claire, continues to put pressure on her and Kyle's relationship. Although he has promised not to ruin things between the two, it is clear that it is just a promise without much practical meaning. Victor's moves, from warnings to hidden actions, are all aimed at making Kyle feel not good enough, not worthy enough for Claire. Victor understands that the relationship between Claire and Kyle is not only a personal matter but also has a great influence on what he is building in the Newman family. Their love affair is not just a romantic relationship, but a factor that can shake the alliances in the business world that he has worked so hard to build. Therefore, although he says he will not sabotage, Victor is actually always looking for ways to assert his power and ensure that Claire will not go too far beyond his control. Victor, with his strong personality and carefulness in every decision, not only wants to prove that he is the one who decides the fate of the Newman family but also wants to control Claire's every move. He believes that Claire cannot completely escape the influence of the family, and the relationship with Kyle, someone he does not completely trust, can be a great threat to what he is building. Kyle and Claire, can love survive all challenges? Kyle Abbott, who had already struggled with the disapproval of his father, Jack Abbott, now faced a greater challenge, the strong disapproval of Victor. When Kyle decided to fall in love with Claire, he fell in love not only with a woman but also with a part of the Newman family. Despite knowing full well that this relationship would not be easy, Kyle still took the plunge. He loved Claire with all his heart, but he also knew that there would be no easy way when facing Victor Newman. Although Claire and Victor had recently come to a certain understanding, it did not mean that Victor was ready to accept this relationship. In fact, he saw Kyle as a threat to the stability of the Newman family, and could not allow an outsider like Kyle to become part of his long-term plans. However, the temporary understanding between Victor and Claire also created gaps in the strong wall that Victor had always built. Claire, despite wanting to maintain a good relationship with Victor, also begins to feel the pressure. She does not want to be caught between two powerful forces in her family, but she cannot ignore her feelings for Kyle. She understands that one day, she will have to choose between family and love. Summer's threat and the clash at Crimson Lights. Kyle's life is not only challenged by Victor but also by Summer Newman, with whom he has a complicated relationship. Although Summer and Kyle have a troubled past, when Victor starts causing trouble, their relationship becomes one of the factors that increase the tension in the story. While Kyle is trying to keep his relationship with Claire strong, Summer does not easily give up her concern for Kyle. One of the most tense moments will take place at Crimson Lights, where all three characters, Claire, Kyle, and Summer, will be present. This will be a confrontation not only between Claire and Summer but also a big challenge for Kyle. He will have to face the growing tension between the two important women in his life. Summer, with her strong and assertive personality, is not afraid to express her feelings, making the situation even more complicated. She does not want to see Kyle fall into Claire's hands, and will do everything she can to win back his attention. This tension will not only affect Kyle but also his relationship with Claire. Feelings of insecurity and anxiety begin to take over, as things become more complicated. Claire, whether she wants it or not, will have to face the reality that her love may not be strong enough to overcome all the challenges that Victor and Summer pose. Kyle will feel caught between the two women he loves, and he will have to make a difficult decision about the future of this relationship. Ultimately, the story's developments will lead to the big questions. Can Kyle overcome Victor's objections and win Claire's heart back? Is Claire and Kyle's relationship strong enough to withstand the threats from the Newman family, or will they succumb to the enormous pressure from outside? And will the relationship with Summer continue to cause endless trouble, putting Kyle in difficult situations? Victor Newman, for all his intelligence and power, will not give up this battle easily. He will not let Kyle win easily, and will certainly continue to put him in more difficult situations. However, if Claire and Kyle can overcome all these challenges, perhaps their love will become an indispensable part of the world of intrigue and complicated relationships of the young and the restless.